Mams, pack up na! Hinay-hinay na tagdakop diri. Dili na maghuwat ang revolusyon. Grabe na ang krisis diri sa Cebu.
DMD na jud boss. Di mo tanong ma.
Dili! Mabuhay ang Revolution! Mabuhay ang Pilipinas! Oh wait! What time gani?
Uy!
What time magsugod ang kuan ang gira?
Asa nakato si Flores? Padung na ba kato siyang posisyon? Wala man jud ni text.
Alam jud to siya ay cold.
Sighugot dira, revolusyon ba yan eh?
Ay pang revolution, tinudun mo.
Saba daw pangita ato si Flores.
Hi guys! On my way to Fort San Pedro, Katipunan for the win! Watch out you Spaniards! Coming at you! We're gonna get you!
Oh, MG!
Oh! Dito na pito, sir! Oh, man! Asa man ta? Oh my God! We need to... BRB!
Oh, Luis! Nalagay ka diri.
Nakadungo man ko sa buto-buto. Ayaw kay boss?
Okay rin na, magutay anting-anting. Ka-cute sa gini mo. No-worry ka na ko.
Siyempre, oy. Basta Revolution, tabang-tabang na ita.
A few moments later.
Revolution! Revolution!
Oy! Selfie tayo na. Boss,
Uy! Nitag chicharon din na. Kailangan may chicharon din sa gasar.
sige.
Dili lang sa ako, pabilin lang. Sige.
And now, And now the reenactment of the Battle of Tres de Abril.
Mga bugat nga siminto para matukod kining inyong simbahan. Unya, moreklamo ka. Kabalo ba ka kini nga simbahan para sa Ginoo? Pagbuot sa Ginoo nga ikaw mo trabaho. Maong trabaho din ha. Pilipino to. General, palihog lang, papahuwayay tawon ang akong isuon. Dili na niya kaya, wala pa siya kaon. Kay kuhaon man sa mga praile abot para itinda sa galyon. Soldier, mutubag-tubag ka ha? Gusto ka mamatay? General, ayaw intawon. Otro pud ka. Kung dili mo mo trabaho, maayo pa mamatay mo. Filipino. Maayo pa mamatay tungod sa usa ka bala kaysa sa kagutom o kahago para mabulahan mo mga kawatan sa among yuta. Soldier. Irihis ka ang dako. Ayaw. Ang padayon pag Filipino, ang rason nga nung natukod ang usa ka organisasyon nga gipanganlan og 𝐾𝐞 o kataas-taasang galangang katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan dito sa Manila o dinhi sa Sugbo, Katipunera. Mga kauban, naata diri karon kay mga Pilipino kita. Apan ang Pilipinas dili na atua. Gikawat sa mga katsila ang ato mga yutang natawhan ug dili ni nila buhian hangtod dili nato lang katon sa ilang mga kamot. Maximum. Sakto. Bisan unsaon pa natog luhod og pagpangamuyo sa mga katsila. Padre ayaw intawon, padre husto na. Dili na sila maminaw kay sa ilang mga mata ang mga Pilipino dili tawo kun dili ilaga. Indio pamanggani ang ilang tawag sa atoa. Indio. Sunod-sunod lamang kita sa mga katsila, nga sunod-sunod lamang sa mga praile, nga sunod-sunod lamang sa mga hari sa Espanya. Kinsa may ilang silbihan? Ang Ginoo ba? Wala man siguro Ginoo nga muhunghong sa usa ka miyembro sa simbahan nga manglugos og babae. Flores. Mga kauban, nakita ko ang inyong mga nakitaan. Dili na maantos ang kalisod sa atong nasod o mga kababayan ug kinitanan tungod sa mga katsila nga salbahis. Apan sa kalibutang ilang gipadagan, kita manginahanglan og tabang. Sa pagdako sa katipunan, ning grabe pod ang mga Persa nga gustong muluto sa ilaa. Usa ka adlaw og ang usa nila nga si Januario Gabrielio nga taga-Basak sa Nicolas, gidakop o gidala sa mga katsila sa Port San Pedro. Gipangutana siya kung kinsa iyang mga kauban, tungod kay gusto siya nga kung mutug-an siya sa iyang mga nahibaw-an siya maluwas o makagawas, gitug-an niya ang 15 kangalan sa iyang mga kauban, pero embes nga siya buhian, gipasakitan na noon siya og taman hangtod siya namatay. Gidakop dayon sa mga sundalo ang mga pangalan nga iyang gihisgot og sila gipangpatay. Tungod adtong panghitabo, nagtigom ang mga leader sa katipunan sa balay ni Isidro Gibilondo sa Karita. Padilla. Mga kauban, dili na ta maglangan. Ang ayan sugda na nato ang revolusyon sa dili pa nila mahurot ug patay ang ato kauban. Maxilum. Sakto si kandido. Dili na nato huwaton pa nga musamot ang sitwasyon. Ning samot na kini sukad sa pagtunob sa mga katsila sa atong nasod. Flores. Ayaw mo gahadlok mga kauban. Duna tay leader nga ingon nila dili madutlan og bala. Kini dili komedya mga kauban. Kublan gyud siya. Kilat. Mayong buntag mga kauban. Luis, kung mahimo ko nimong pusilon. Ako si Leon Kilat. Gikan pa ko og Negros Oriental. Ako ang leader sa atong pag-alsa ugma. Oo, ugma. Dili na nato palabyon pa ang mga adlaw mga kauban. Kay usa ka gutlo nga paglangan, libo kadupa ang kadaugan sa atbang. Mga kauban, dili ta mahadlok. Kini usa ka anting-anting ug ingon sila nga mauni ang rason nga kublan ko. Pero dili mga kauban. Kublan ko kay mas gusto ko pa mamatay para sa akong nasod kaysa mabuhi nga ulipon sa mga langyaw. Inyong usa ka na kapanapton nga naay mga nakasuwat nga panuwatong Latin ug Espanyol. Ug kana mauna ang Hostea Redentora ug huma na nga papel. Inig-adto ninyo sa gera aron dili mo gutomon bisan sa unsa kadugay nga away. Mga kauban, dili lamang kini nga anting-anting ang moprotektar nato sa gera, kundi ang atong kaisog. Bisan kutsilyo ug sundang lay ato batok sa ilang mga pusil ug kanyon, magmanaugon ta kay wala kitay kahadlok. Sa ika-3 sa Abril, mag-alsa kita. Mabuhi ang Pilipinas! Mabuhi ang revolusyon! Gipanguluhan ni Leon Kilat ang panagsangka sa 3 de Abril batok sa mga katsila. Bantay mga igsuon, hapa kamong tanan. Nakabalo si Leon nga limara kabala ang naa sa matag pusil sa mga katsila. Manghapa sila, iphon nila ang 5 kabuto. Inigkahurot sa bala, inigkargada balik og bala. Didto ang saktong oras para ang mga katipunero mamarug og muhasmag. Mabuhi ang Pilipinas! Mabuhi ang revolusyon! Nakadaog ang mga katipunero batok sa mga katsila. Pero na mga katsay mga pwersa gikan sa ubang isla sa Pilipinas, rason nga nanagan sila Leon Kilat didto sa Karkar ug ubang bukirang dapit sa Sugbo. Pag-abot nila sa Karkar ni adtong Abril 7, sila gitratar isip importanteng bisita, gipakaon og pangfiesta nga pagkaon ug gipatagay og Ginebra. Florencio, karong gabi una, mag-ihaw kita og kabayo. Wala sila kahibalo nga usa sa mga taga-Karkar nga si Kapitan Florencio Noel isumbong sa mga pare. Sa sunod nga adlaw, sa kadlawon sa Abril 8, 1898, si Leon Kilat nga gipuli-pulihan og dunggo kato ug ang iyang patayng lawas gipasundayag sa plaza sa Karkar. Flores, tangtangan ang kaisog sa inyong mga nawong. Kung naa si Leon Kilat karon, pangkasab-an mo adto niya, kitang tanan, pagsumpa nato sa katipunan, ning saad nga kita mo barog, hangtod sa kamatayan. Naguna lamang si Leon Kilat, ug mosunod raunya ta. Pero kung tugutan nato nga mapapas ang atong dasig tungod niini, padayon mga matay ang mga Pilipino sa kagutom ug kasalbahis sa mga katsila. Unsa man, padayonon nato ni o dili, Ipadayon nato ang nasugda ni Leon Kilat. Padayon ta para kang Leon Kilat o para sa Pilipinas. Unsa man mga kauban, padayonon ni nato. Flores, dili kita muundang hantod atong mapapahawa ang mga katsila sa Pilipinas. Mabuhi si Leon Kilat, mabuhi. Mabuhi ang Pilipinas, mabuhi. Sa pagpanguna nilang General Luis Flores o General 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗷 nakuha sa mga Sugboanong katipunero ang tanang lungsod palibot sa dakbayan sa Sugbo, hangtod nga hingpit nga napildi na gayud ang mga katsila. Niadtong Disyembre 24, 1898, sa buntag, nangandam na ang tanang mga sundalong katsila, sibilyan, o mga Sugboanong mas gipili nga modapig sa mga katsila. Sa wala pay udto, nilarga na ang barko padulong sa Zamboanga. Ang Pasko ni adtong 1898 ang usa sa pinakamalipayong adlaw sa mga Sugboanon tungod kay naangkon na nila ang dugay na gihinam-hinam nga kagawasan. Sa Disyembre 29, 1898, gihalad ang misa sa pasalamat sa Cebu Cathedral nga gitambungan sa mga isog nga malipayon natong mga Sugboanong katipunero. Didto ni syagit sila og mabuhi ang katipunan, mabuhi ang Pilipinas. Nagpasalamat kita sa mga Sugboanong katipunero sa ilang gipakita nga kaisog og mga sakripisyo batok sa mga katsila. Mao nga adunay mga dalan sa Sugbo nga gipanganlan kanila. Tinuod yun nga kon anaay panaghiusa, kaisog, sakripisyo, makabot yun nato ang kausaban sa atong kinabuhi ug sa katilingban.
May we request the on-site audience to please stand for our opening prayer, to be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem to be led by the Junquera Street Children's Choir. Pag-ampo alang sa nagbagong Sugbo. O mabubuhat, nagampo kami kanimo alang sa usa ka sugbong hingpit nga nagbago, ang Sugbo nga sa mga bayani gidamgo, usa ka Sugbo nga atong 𝐓𝐫𝐤𝐵. May bisting makahupay sa gabii nga matugnaw, giatiman, gipangga sa katilingban. Kami nagaampo alang sa bagong Sugbo, Sugboanong maalamon sa among mga kaagi, na hiusang nagpanday pagkabot sa damgo, sa sugbong maisog, mauswagon, o gawasnon, among mga pangandoy para sa matag bata, nga may pagkaon sa lamisa, ug balay makatulgan. Kami nagaampo alang sa bagong Sugbo, Sugboanong dakog garbo sa among mga kaagi, na hiusang nagpanday pagkabot sa damgo, sa sugbong maisog, mauswagon, ug gawasnon. Amen.
We Cebuanos aspire to be worthy in following the path taken by our heroes in their fearless fight for a land whose sun and stars forever shine for justice, whose loving embrace is everyone's paradise. We strive to become a people who love our motherland in our every breath and with every drop of our blood, sweat, and tears.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, buyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisikin, sa dagat sumulog sa simoy at sa langit mong baba. May tilak ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang islap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin na taraw niya kailan kamay di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng lalakit pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa timog. Aming ligaya na pagkay mang-aabit, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
May now take your seats. Good afternoon, maayong hapon, magandang hapon sa lahat, and welcome to another FB Live exclusive of Palm Grass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. My name is Josh, and I am honored to be the host for today's major event. Now, we are celebrating Tres de Abril, the valiant men and women of the 1898 Cebu Revolution. So before we begin with our lineup of activities, for those who are watching us via our Facebook Live, feel free to share the video, and also feel free to comment as well. I know we have a lot of people watching us today. And also to our on-site guests, if you have not yet followed or liked the page, it is the Palm Grass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. I believe the video is already live earlier. Speaking of earlier, we wish to thank the Teatro, Bag-ong Junquera for their reenactment earlier. Okay, now we are also, so as mentioned earlier, in celebration of the 125th year of the Battle of Tres de Abril, and also the 6th year of the grand opening of Palm Grass Hotel. Let us give everyone a big round of applause. So happy birthday as well to Palm Grass. Now, of course, this event would not be possible without us and our partners. So we have our partners, the Cebu Visayas Association of Museums, Museo Sugbo, Diyandi Heritage Center, and so on 2020 Incorporated. Let's give them a big round of applause. Also, we have our participants, both on-site and online. So let us give recognition. We have here the School Division of Taguig City and Pateros. A big round of applause. And of course, our on-site guests from the Visayas. We have our friends coming from Cebu Normal University, the Commission on Population and Development Region 7, our friends from University of the Visayas, UV, and they were here very early, our friends from Talisay City College. All right. So, of course, later on, we will have a lineup of activities such as our cosplay competition, featuring the reenactors wearing their best Tres de Abril inspired get-up. Now, before we proceed to that, I will be showing to you a video. It's an excerpt from the Suroy Saysay with the author of Leon Kilat book, Emil Justembaste. So direct your attention to the screen.
My name is Emil Justembaste. I used to work with the Freeman as an assistant news editor. They assigned me to do a series on the centennial of the Philippine Revolution. Came out with a series of articles about Leon Kilat and the Cebu Revolution.
So as asa day kapita ang kuta sa
mga katsila, diha na sila, nakapwesto na sila daan. Tapos, ang pwersa nila yung kilat, padung sila dire. Padung sila dire until they saw the forces of the Spaniards na diha nakaposisyon sa eskina sa Tres de Abril o Birama. This is Birama, this is Tres de Abril. Kanya, 15 meters away, here, dinhi dapita. Then may balay ito din nga bato. So 15 meters away, pamusil sila. Kanya ang kuan sa mga katsila nito, ang rifles, they had to have 5 shots. Pung, 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 pung. After 5 shots, they had to reload. That was the time when tindog ang mga katipuneros. Atake sila with their sundan. Nanagan dito. So diha, ang binakbakay was sundang versus rifles, pero ang rifles wala na makabuto. Bawo sila panagang, and then tungod kay daghan man ang katipuneros kontra sa mga katsila, Spanish forces. So hindi sila daghan-daghan sa likuan. So they had to retreat back. Gamay ra to siya nga skirmish actually, kay usa ra gud ka kumpanya mga katsila to. Pero that was a big victory for the locals because for the first time in history, hindag na mga katsila sa first mga.
All right. Once again, that was an excerpt from the video by Sir Emil 𝗘𝗿𝗶, the author of the book Leon Kilat. And we hope to learn more of him and the revolution associated with him to the Tres de Abril revolution in just a short while. Now, of course, as mentioned earlier, we are celebrating the 6th anniversary of the opening of Palm Grass. And to give her message, I turn you over from Palm Grass Hotel. We have Miss Agrippina Givilondo. Miss A, take it away.
Malipayong pagsaulog sa usa ka gatos og kawhaan og 5 ka tuig sa Tres de Abril og sa ikaunom nga tuig sa grand opening anniversary sa Palmgrass. A happy celebration of the 125th year of the Battle of Tres de Abril and the 6th grand opening anniversary of Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. So ang English kay para gito sa atong on-site online audience who do not understand Bisaya. So to all our honored guests here physically present on-site and also to those online, to the heritage community in Cebu, to the teachers and students from academic institutions of Cebu, Talisay City College, Cebu Normal University, University of the Visayas, and all the schools that I haven't mentioned. Also to the descendants of the heroes of the 1898 Cebu Revolution. The first to arrive is a descendant of the Alineo generals, so the very talented Iris Alidio Fernandez King. So also to our esteemed resource persons this afternoon, to Visayan history scholar Dr. Erlinda Alburo, and to filmmaker Vic Asidilio, who is with Dr. Erlinda is with us on site, and Vic Asidilio is with us virtually. To our talented Cebu youth, who portrayed to us, who depicted, who reenacted the Battle of Tres de Abril, and also to the Junquera Street Children's Choir, who sang for us the Philippine National Anthem. To the rebranding Junquera Street partners, to the Cebu Normal University Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Ray Inusian, to the Cebu Provincial Tourism Officer, Ms. Marty Ibanez, to the DepEd Regional Director, Region 7, Sal Jimenez, who will be giving us his message in a while, and to the local government officials, to all of us gathered here physically and online. Usa ka makasaysayanon ug makahuluganong adlaw natong tanan. a historic and meaningful afternoon to all of us. 125 years ago today at 3 o'clock. So same time, alas tres gudto, 125 years ago at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, our ancestors showed us once again the bravery of the Visayan warriors whose blood flow in our veins. Continuing the legacy of Lapu-Lapu, Tupas, Dagami, the Babaylanes, and all the fierce warriors in the Visayas, the Cebuanos rose up against the 333 years of Spanish colonial rule. Armed with just bolos, spears, and knives, they dared to fight a powerful colonial empire. And they won. They won partially on April 3, on Tres de Abril, on the same day that they fought. And they won the final victory on December 24, the Christmas Eve of 1898. 6 years ago, also today, 6 years ago today, on April 3, 2017, also at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel, had its grand opening. Also, a year before that, on April 3, 2016, at 3 o'clock, during its soft opening, Palmgrass launched the book on Leon Quilat, The Untold Story of the 1898 Cebu Revolution, authored by 𝗘𝗿𝗄 𝗔𝗶𝗏. Palmgrass dared to carry on with the advocacy of being the only hotel showcasing Cebuano heritage, history, and hospitality. Palmgrass was a voice in the wilderness 6 years ago. But right now, we are happy to know that other hotels are already showcasing also Cebu history and heritage. But we still say we are the only heritage hotel, genuinely heritage hotel in Cebu. So we were a voice in the wilderness 6 years ago, but with the heritage community in Cebu, the artists community in different fields, the youth in Cebu, and the educators and historians from the different parts in the Visayas and the rest of the country. We have done many things in promoting awareness of Cebu, Visayan, and national heritage and history. Today, Palmgrass Publishing, Film, and Music Production Company, Tres de Abril Incorporated, has already published four books on Cebu history, produced a song album, 𝐓𝐫𝐶𝐵, co-produced a theater play, 𝐓𝐵𝐾𝐵 also, and produced many videos on Cebu and Visayan heritage and history. Today is indeed a celebration of the valor of our ancestors, as our continuing commitment in making history alive in our hearts and minds within the context of the Cebuano hospitality industry. Moreover, today is a celebration of our journey together as we brave all the odds, even the pandemic, in our quest for reconnecting the people of today, especially the youth, to our brave past. We become so hopeful when we see the youth of today, our youth, the Cebuano youth, using their talents in creating art, visual art, performance art, songs, music, dance, poetry, rap, films, speeches, essays, native clothing and accessories to showcase our rich heritage and to honor our heroes. So you must have seen our contest featuring contest among the grade school students of the Cebu Island, and they gave very passionate speeches about our heroes, General Maximum, General Leon Quilat, Lapu-Lapu, and we become so hopeful that these youth who are proud of our identity as Cebuanos, Visayans, Filipinos will emulate the values of our heroes and become the best leaders to build a renewed society that takes care of everyone. We are also thankful for the youth here. So of course, and the young at hearts who are here with us. So we are thankful to all of you, our partners in our advocacy, And we also have the tour guides here who are also, we are also hopeful that they are able to share the story of Cebu and the story of our heroes to our tourists, local and foreign tourists. So we also express our admiration and gratitude to all the hardworking, talented, determined 𝗘𝐿𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐿𝐵 management and staff of PAMGRAS for the hard work in reaching our goals. Round of applause for the 𝗘𝐿𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐿𝐵 PAMGRAS staff. And also our consultants, our friends, all who support us. Malipayong pagsaulog sa kadaugan sa mga Sugboanon, usa ka gatos og kawhaan og 5 ka tuig ang milabay. Daghang salamat for journeying with PAMGRAS and helping us survive and thrive in the last 6 years. Malipayong hapon natong tanan.
Thank you very much, Miss A. Once again, another round of applause for Miss A. So yes, I can confirm that for several years from the day they started, that PAMGRAS is indeed, if not one of the first to do heritage. So if you just follow the page, or if you've been a long time follower of the PAMGRAS Facebook page, you can see that almost every week there are talks about Cebuano heritage, pre-colonial history, Spanish times, the works. So many videos. In fact, after this, if you want to run through to the videos, feel free to review all the videos up to last year. You can learn a lot by just watching their videos. So again, another round of applause and happy anniversary to PAMGRAS, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. Now, other than, of course, we also have some of our guests here from the Cebu Association of Tour Guides. Let's give them a big round of applause. Our friends from FLAG, thank you very much. Diyandi, from the Fashion Institute of the Philippines, Cebu. And of course, our friends from University of the Visayas, 𝗘𝐿𝐵𝐵 and Talisay City College. So thank you very much for being with us today. Now, you've heard the message coming from Miss A. Now we have another special message, this time from the Regional Director of Region 7 DepEd. We have a video coming from Dr. Salustiano Jimenez. A round of applause.
Mayong adlaw sa tanan, no? Labi na ang nagtan-aw ni nga to ang programa karon, no? Ang atong selebrasyon on the Tres de Abril at 125 the valiant men and women of the 1898 Cebu Revolution. So once again, to everyone, a pleasant afternoon. Special greetings, of course, to the PAMGRAS Heritage Hotel, no? Representative Serafin 𝗷𝗵𝐿𝗵𝗂𝗋𝗋, and to all the members of the 𝗷𝗵𝐿𝗵𝗂𝗋𝗋 clan, and to all of you watching and attending this very momentous activity. Now, the Tres de Abril battle, or the 1898 Cebu Revolution, is one of those which stamp history in the Philippines. True that it has popularized our rich culture in Cebu, especially the neighboring streets of Tulon Street, one of the busiest and known places in Cebu City, have been named after our Cebuano heroes. Who could ever forget them? Today, I want to share to you my reflections on our history and how everything started with it. We should owe everything that we have acquired, accomplished, and now enjoy to history. All these that we relish today have been a long-standing privilege fought by our national and local heroes for us, for our aspirations, for our plans and visions in life. How could we ever skip honoring and recognizing them and the battles they have won and lost too? We can never, because not even our lives can measure up with the courage they have mustered during the war and the sacrifices they themselves have willingly submitted just so we can harbor and reap today's peace, civilization, and all the benefits of our modern innovations. Imagine that selfless offering for the freedom we today have enjoyed for free, while theirs have to be fought in battles and worst have to cost their lives and hope for a slim chance to get through this ultimate freedom we sometimes have not genuinely put to good use and purpose. I know that you are feeling the same guilt. All of us who are here today and all of those who are living in this day and age. Our youth today must establish that certain appreciation of how convenience today has been paid by the sacrifices invested by our heroes before. This alone must sufficiently allow them to recognize why history is being advocated, including and learned in our education, and why there's a need to teach our learners these heroic deeds so they may find reflection in their lives now more than ever. They must learn to value the weight of the exchange of freedom only for us to exist today. And not only that, the strength of our heroes have exhibited are but inspiring, incomparable to accomplish in the modern times. Their strength should become a blueprint for the youth to weather through any difficulties, because compared to yesterday's woes, today has been re-engineered 10 times the usual systems, ways, and even approaches. As I have said, much less to what we had yesterday. All the more reason for us to appreciate our lives better than how our ancestors have for their lives. So let us be grateful again. We must never stop thanking our heroes, our historians, and all those who continue to sustain our history forever. I also would like to congratulate Pamgras, Cebu's only heritage hotel, for your 6th grand opening anniversary. You have been one of its partners in some of our learning and development activities. And I thank you as well for being an instrument to keep its achievements of its goals. Once again, to Pamgras and the initiator of this activity, thank you for having me here. Congratulations as well. Kudos. Thank you for always there supporting our agenda. And this time, the Matatag Education agenda of our DepEd Secretary, VP Secretary Sara Duterte. To all of you, congratulations, and once again, God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Doc Sal, for that very wonderful message. And once again, happy anniversary to Pamgras. Now, we do have some event highlights for today, and allow me to mention them. So the first one, we have a panel discussion on the valiant men and women of the 1898 Cebu Revolution. We also have a reenactment of the Battle of Tres de Abril, which was shown earlier, and messages from our different government officials. Of course, Doc Sal being the DepEd 7, from DepEd 7 rather. And of course, the Tres de Abril Heroes cosplay contest. We will meet them later on. Song performances from the Katipunero descendants, and trivia quiz with prizes. Now, this quiz will be both on-site and online. So for those who are online, continue to stay tuned. And yeah. Okay, now, at this point, I have the honor of introducing our cosplayers. Now, our cosplayers, I will be mentioning them rather, I will mention their character, okay, for everyone to see. So guys, are you ready to meet our contestants? Oy, medyo hinay man. Are you ready to meet them? Okay, good. Let's keep that enthusiasm going. So without further ado, I introduce to you our contestants for our cosplay competition. Starting off with, okay, I'm going to the side. Let's welcome our first cosplayer. We have Leon Kilat. Up next, we have Arcadio Maxilum. Give it up for Luis Flores. And finally, we have Hermana de la Caridad. Once again, our contestants for our cosplay competition. Once again, we'd like to call back on stage our not just cosplayers, but also reenactors, historical reenactors. A round of applause. All right, thank you very much. And you'll get to see them, we'll get to see more of them later on. Now we go to our talk proper. Now I'm seeing a lot of you already taking out their notes. That's good. Okay, this will be helpful later on for our quiz. Again, our quiz and prizes, we will have on-site and online prizes. Okay, so to introduce our panelists, I turn you over to Miss A.
Maayong hapon. Once again. So, hapon sa tanan. Malipayong Maayong hapon once again. Malipayong pagsaulog sa usa ka gatos ug kawaan ug 5 ka tuig nga kasumaran sa Tres de Abril, sa panagsangka sa Tres de Abril. So right now we are going to have our panel discussion with our resource persons regarding the valiant men and women of the Tres de Abril uprising or the Cebu Revolution in 1898. So we would be, for those online, we would welcome your comments and your reactions. So even if we haven't started yet with the discussion, there is already a comment and a reaction. So for the online audience, we would be reading your comments and reactions as we go along. For those on site, we would be entertaining your questions at the end of the conversations. Because malubong man, so we would not be able to see the questions and the comments from the on-site audience. So that's why we would read them as we go along. So we already have, so before I introduce the panelists, we already have a reaction from 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗶, who says, Leon Kilat, a very brave Filipino, how did he get his spiritual powers? He cannot be penetrated with blades and bullets. Is it from the orasyon, or is it from some powerful spiritual beings? Aside from Leon Kilat, who else have powers like this? So this would be the tip from for our resource person. So would be discussing the answer to this question, and also to Carmelita 𝗷𝗿𝗶 who says, watching this momentous day in the history of Cebu. Daghang salamat, og amping, and to Donna also. Torion, watching from Tipas National High School of the DepEd Taguig City and Pateros. So we would have exciting discussions this afternoon. In the past, we used to discuss Leon Quilat only, or General Potenciano Alinio. We discussed also Jacinto Pacanya, some other leaders of the Katipun of the revolution in 1898. So today we are going to discuss the lesser known, or the other heroes of the revolution in 1898. In the past, we used to stress on Leon Quilat because Leon Quilat had a very big role in the revolution of Cebu in 1898. But you only know his name on the street sign. We interviewed some vendors, parada riders or drivers at Leon Quilat Street, and that was in 2018. There was a vendor who have been selling at the she has a stall at the Leon Quilat Street, and when we asked her, "Do you know who Leon Quilat is?" and she said, "Wala gyud ko kaila duga, wa gyud ko kaila kung kinsa na si Leon Quilat." And she is at Leon Quilat Street. And then we asked the parada, it's Diva Leon Quilat Street, going at near University of San Jose Recoletos. It is the parking lot of parada. It's Leon Quilat Street. We asked the Tartanilla or paradista, "Do you know who Leon Quilat is?" And he said, "Wa gyud ko kailaki sa si Leon Quilat." Murag ingon sa tong vendor, tingalig driver nag Tartanilla. And then we asked the horse, "Do you know who Leon Quilat is?" But later, a year after, when we went back, they said, "Yes, kaila ko ni Leon Quilat. I know Leon Quilat because palm grass used by Tartanilla in the celebration of the Tres de Abril." So I already know, kay balon ako, kinsa si Leon Quilat. So karon, you would know more. We already know about Leon Quilat from this book, Leon Quilat, The Untold Story of the 1898 Cebu Revolution. We know him also from this book by Junicio C. And also the children of Cebu created a story about Leon Quilat and the Sigbin of Leon Quilat, based from the real story of Leon Quilat. So now we would know about the other heroes. We have more than 300 leaders of the Cebu Revolution against Spain. So as mentioned also in the book by historian Dr. Michael Colonnane. So now we would introduce to you our resource persons. First, we would like to introduce to you a resource person. As I said, she is a Visayan history scholar, and she is an author of many books on Visayan and Cebu heritage and history. She is a co-editor of this book, 𝗘𝗿𝗋𝗯𝗂𝗿𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐵 Sugboanon in 1941 to 2005. Ladi ni mahuman ang afternoon if I would mention all the books. And 𝗘𝗿𝗋𝗯𝗂𝗿𝗋𝗋𝗋 Sugboanon, Cebuano fiction until 1940. And these are all available at Palmgrass Bookshop. And the Dictionary of Visayan Arts is a very precious book to know about the Visayan arts, the words, or the about Visayan arts, the different aspects of Visayan arts. And she is also a co-author of this book, Sinug-ang Cebuano Trio, a book of a collection of poetry by her and two other women authors, Sinug-ang. And then she is also the author, ladi mahuman ning hapon. And she is also the author of this book, Sugilambong, the pre-war Cebuano novel. And so she is the former director of the Cebuano Study Center, and she is a commissioner of the Cebu City Cultural and Historical Affairs Commission. It is our honor and our pleasure to have with us for the first time our esteemed resource person, Dr. Erlinda Quintanar Alburo.
Okay, Nani? Oh, can you hear me? Binisay no? English lang po, no? Because we have people listening in who are not from here. So as you have noticed from the introduction, all the books that she showed are in literature, right? Because that is really my training and my background. My romance with history started really because of my romance with a history professor. My husband was a history professor. He died during the pandemic. Anyway, after about 20 years of marriage, I became director of the Cebuano Study Center. I couldn't help but be interested in history because my boss, Resil Mojares, is really well into history. Anyway, Karina lang. Kina? Ano lang? Kanina lang? Sige. And as I said, if you work in a library, like the Cebuano Study Center, which specializes in source materials about history and culture, you cannot help but, read. And even there were foreigners who would frequent. And then I said, I don't like the feeling that they would know more than I, so I had to study. That's why aside from literature, I also studied history. And Miss A. So,
Yes.
yes.
Salamat, Dr. Erlinda. So we would now like to introduce to you our other resource person, and he is also with us for the first time. He is he became a multi-awarded advertising creative early in his career. He is a graduate of visual communication of the UP College of Fine Arts Diliman. He is now a full-time filmmaker, and he has also won awards for his films. He is now based in Camiguin Island in Mindanao, and it is our pleasure also to have with us a filmmaker who is creating a film about the hero of Cebu, Bonifacio Aranas. Please help me welcome Vic Asedillo.
Maayong hapon sa tanan. I'm here now in Cagayan de Oro because I'm going to Davao tomorrow. I'm not a historian, but we did a lot of research. And my fascination about Bonifacio Aranas is because I am related to Bonifacio Aranas. And when I was a kid, I always see this photo in the wall in the old house of Father Teodoro. And they always tell me, that's a hero. We're related to that hero. So that's how I proposed a documentary we made on Bonifacio Aranas.
Daghang salamat, Vic. So we are excited to know about the details of Bonifacio Aranas. We only see his name, B. Aranas, at the in Cebu City Street. So we would know more about B. Aranas this afternoon. So Dr. Erlinda would tell us about so many heroes of Cebu. Usa ni kalibro iyang discussion. So and then she would discuss it in just 20 minutes. so this would be an interesting, a very exciting afternoon. So for those online, please do write your comments as we go along. Kay Arundili, you will be able to see your questions. So our first questions are for Dr. Erlinda Alburo. And so we would like to ask her, she actually is an author of the book Sumad, It is a collection of her articles about the heroes of Cebu for the centennial celebration in 1998 for of the 1896 Philippine Revolution, or the celebration of the freedom, the Philippine independence in 1998. So she wrote articles about the heroes of the Cebu Revolution. So first, we would like to ask Dr. Erlinda, why is it that the Cebuanos rose up? Why is it that the Cebuanos rose up against the Spanish colonial rule?
Okay. There were immediate causes for this, but the revolution was already like marinating, the feelings of resentment and about marginalization of the middle class in Cebu. Was triggered by the establishment of the Ayuntamiento in 1890. The whole Philippines, there was this, I think, Becerra law of 1889, the year before it was established here, of having ayuntamientos, which would be headed by Spanish. No, now in Cebu, they had a cabildo in about middle of the 18th century, but that was abolished because there were no Spanish leaders before. As you know, Cebu City was open to international trade in 1860, and so it attracted more and more foreigners as well as other Spaniards, from the peninsula, from Spain and in other places in the Philippines, because Cebu was thriving, as an interpol. It had a very good location, etc. Together with this opening of the trade of international trade, the port of Cebu, we had therefore companies like Smith Bell and other exporters of abacan, sugar, and all these products that were not really just produced in Cebu, but were, shall we say, sent here to be sent again to outside. So there were more and more, not just Spaniards here, but also more and more people who were workers already, employees of these companies, and they were educated, not highly educated like Llorente or Rizal, who went to Spain, but some of them went to the Seminario de San Carlos. No, the Ayuntamiento was seen to be hostile to the principales of Cebu City. The principales were descendants of the Datu class. They were maintained, and their status was maintained only, as leaders of the small settlements, not Cebu City as a whole, but in San Nicolas, especially, where you have many descendants of the Datu class. They were they were the ones who really worked, who made the government operate. The clerks, the secretaries, the filers of records, and all that. And the Spaniards who were up there, were not really that competent, and it was the Filipinos who really made things work. So they felt resentment because when the Ayuntamiento came, they were no longer there. They were replaced by Spaniards who did not know much, And most of these principales, most of this class came from San Nicolas. That is why it is not surprising that San Nicolas became the nest of the revolution. Aside from that, with the coming of the Ayuntamiento, which marginalized them and got and their power over other people under them, as well as their privileges were abolished. The other reason for the revolution had to do with an agrarian problem. Even a century before that, there were already peasant uprisings. One was led by Juan Leong from San Fernando, and the friar estates in Talisay and Minglanilla also had many of these landowners whose lands were not theirs anymore. They were resentful about it. And before 1898, they had disputes that went as far as Manila, and they were represented by attorneys like Florencio Gonzalez and 𝗓𝗏𝗄, who were later murdered or executed by the Spaniard. So there was this peasant factor to the revolution, as well as the middle class factor, no? And well, in Manila, for example, the revolution started ahead, 1896 and 1897. But how come that the Cebuanos are very late? I think you know that there was this Cavite mutiny, not just in the shipyards there, but also in the church, and it led to the martyrdom of Gomborsa. Gomborsa. But it was not a problem in Cebu. It was a problem there because the seculars, no, or the native priests were displaced by the Spanish. The Spanish priests who came here because the Jesuits were expelled. So the Jesuits who had parishes in Mindanao especially left. And so there was this vacancy. And this vacancy was filled with the Spanish, no? Now, when the Jesuits were welcomed back to the Philippines, where would the Spanish priests go? So they had to take over the parishes of the natives. So that's why people like the Gomborsa and other priests there, they fought against it, no? And so they had this secularization movement. It was not a problem in Cebu because 3/4 of our priests were really natives, no? So it's not a problem here. So the main reason for the uprising had nothing to do with the priests, but it had more to do with the ayuntamiento's abuses and the peasant. Now, I'd like to say something more about ayuntamiento, these people. What was the effect of, or what changes came about? Not just that their positions are already taken over by the incompetent Spaniards, but they were in San Nicolas, there were two factions, no? One was led by the native Principalia. The leader was Candido Padilla, and the other was by Enrique Caratala, who was a Spaniard who resided here already. And the Spaniards in San Nicolas wanted San Nicolas to be incorporated into the greater Cebu city. And this was of course the native Principalia opposed this. Aside from this, there were more taxes, and the taxes did not go back to the San Nicolas development, but it went to the infrastructure of Cebu City. So they really felt bad also about it. Another thing was that there was this it was not a law, but a kind of decree that the whole of Cebu City and San Nicolas would be part of the like an urbanized zone that would be full of mga bahay na bato pareho sa kuan sa Gordo house, no? That they did not like light materials like mga nipa roofs and bamboo. They didn't like that. But that is our native architecture. So again, the pride of the Cebuano natives was touched, no? There were other things as well, but I don't recall anymore. So I think that is all.
Daghang salamat to Dr. Erlinda. So we have already many questions from our audience. So of course we thank Dr. Erlinda for enlightening us with the reasons for the revolution. So also according to Dr. Michael Colonnane, who wrote this book, Arenas of Conspiracy and Rebellion in the late 19th century Philippines, he said that even without the Katipunan, the Cebuanos would rise up. So, and Dr. Erlinda said, and she agrees also with Dr. Michael Colonnane that the ayuntamiento was really a factor because of the increasing Spanish presence in Cebu. Because in the past, the Cebuanos or the locals were abandoned or nearly abandoned. They were the ones who ruled Cebu, and the Chinese mestizo and the Cebuanos, the natives. So when the ayuntamiento came, there was an increasing Spanish presence, and the natives would think that we are more skillful, we are more skilled to run the government than them. So you should get hold of this book. This contains the 300 leaders, I mean the bio sketches of the 300 leaders of the Cebu Revolution against Spain. And Dr. Michael Colonnane stressed to me before, like last year, I would not call them Katipuneros. Most of them don't know about the Katipunan. I would call them Manggugubot. And when I asked another historian, and another historian said, the Manggugubo term is in the early 1900s. I would call them revolutionaries. So we would all agree that they are all heroes. And so we say they are the valiant men and women. Sila ang mga isog ng mga bayani sa Sugbo sa 1898. So na pagbisaya. Glisod kayo. So next we would like to, so there is a comment already from Ferdy. I don't know if this would be answered now or later by maybe Vic or Dr. Erlinda can answer this. So this is from the DepEd Taguig City and Pateros, and Ferdy Aparticio, he is also someone who Ferdy Aparticio always encourages the teachers in DepEd Taguig City and Pateros to join in our activities. He sent flowers for General Arcadio Maxilum's birthday, and their division also sent flowers for Leon Quilat's birthday. And because there is no other monument of Leon Quilat in Cebu City, we went to Karkar for them. Except for our wood sculpture of Leon Quilat at the ground floor. So we went to Karkar, and then so even the Karkaranans were so surprised. Why are there flowers for Leon Quilat? So and I would say, the DepEd Taguig City and Pateros, of course, through Palm Grass, sent flowers, and we so admire them and thank them for giving honor to our heroes. So of course, they are heroes for our country and not just of Cebu. So Ferdy has this question: Was there an instance the revolutionists from other Visayan provinces like Manila or Iloilo, like Martin Delgado, Santa Barbara, like Patrocinio Gamboa, and Samar Leyte, arms and reinforcement, did they aid the Tres de Abril? So stay tuned for the answer. I don't know if maybe Dr. Erlinda later would answer this. So our next question for Dr. Erlinda is,
I will answer that.
so Dr. Erlinda would like to answer that question.
Now, before the April 3 revolution, I don't think we had any assistance in terms of funding or arms, no. But what we did get was people. Leon Quilat was not a Cebuano, you know very well, and others, no. Even Luis Flores was from Samar. Bonifacio Aranas was from Misamis Oriental. And but you know, I went to Santa Barbara, was it 2 months ago, and I also learned that in Bag-ong, Negros, they observe the anniversary of Leon Quilat, and even though he did not fight there, no, he fought in Cebu City. Yeah, that's right. Maura to, ang mga tao ni noon, no?
So, daghang salamat, Dr. Erlinda. Of course, they are revolutionaries in Cebu, but they came from the different parts of the country. So, we even have someone from Cagayan de Oro, like Gabino Gabukayan, Florencio Gonzalez from Surigao, and of course, Cebu is a center of the southern Philippines, and we have also even revolutionaries from Luzon. And see, Leon Quilat, his descendants would also say that even if he was not born in Cebu, 𝗘𝗏𝗟𝗏's grandmother was a native of Karkar. So the grandfather of 𝗘𝗏𝗟𝗏, a pure Spanish from Spain, married a native of Karkar, and the father of 𝗘𝗏𝗟𝗏 with a brother went to Negros Oriental. The other brother went to, there's another town in the 𝐓𝐫𝐞𝐬. Oh, the other brother went to 𝐓𝐫𝐞𝐬 and the other brother went to Bag-ong. And that's where he also married a native of Bag-ong. And so 𝗘𝗏𝗟𝗏, according to his descendants, so also traces his history to Karkar. So now we would like to ask Dr. Erlinda. Yes, we have Dr. Erlinda now.
Parang bali, no? Maybe no one knows this, but we also have a Cebuano who fought elsewhere in Visayas. Out of the 13 martyrs of 𝗘𝗏𝗶 Aklan, there was one from Cebu. His name was something del Castillo. It's because his best friend was from 𝗘𝗏𝗶, and they were fishermen, and for a while they worked in Australia, and they won a lottery ticket, and they used that lottery ticket to buy something for the revolutionaries. Think a printing press. Yeah.
Yes. Dahil salamat, Dr. Erlinda. So we would now like to ask Dr. Erlinda to give us some highlights of the Battle of Tres de Abril that happened 125 years ago.
Oh, I think your former events here would have covered them already, and even the narration in the reenactment downstairs would already give us the highlights. So what else do you want to know?
the ones not mentioned.
Yeah. I don't think I can mention anything that was not mentioned or has not been anymore, has not already been treated in your many events here. Mga meetings, mga secret meetings, mga initiation siguro, and well, if you like, can read the names of the leaders. Would you like that? Names of the leaders.
So we would also ask you that later. So Dr. Erlinda has said that we have already discussed the many highlights, and of course, if you want to know more, we invite you to read this book, 𝗘𝗏𝗟𝗏, The Untold Story of the 1898 Cebu Revolution. Of course, it was a Palm Sunday, as discussed, and also we have this book, A Short History. This is more detailed also by Junicio, A Short History of Cebu 1500s to 1890s and the Anti-Spanish Revolution in Cebu. So this has more details also of the 1898 Cebu Revolution, or the Battle of Tres de Abril. So now we would like to ask Dr. Erlinda to tell us about the Cebuano women who had important roles in the 1898 Cebu Revolution, because we would like to know her story, not just his story. So we would know our story.
Okay. Unlike some of the women, let's say, who helped in the revolution elsewhere, like in Manila and in Iloilo, we don't have women who really fought, no? You have Tandang Sora in Luzon, diba? And you have Teresa Magbanwa, Iloilo. But here, we don't have one single woman who really stood out. But there were groups. Some of them were unnamed because they were sweethearts or wives or daughters or mothers of the revolutionaries. They lent their money for the supplies, and they cooked for the Katipuneros. They used their houses for the secret meetings, and then, of course, they nursed the sick and the wounded. And you saw here one of the cosplayers, no, from a nun, Hermana de Caridad. Most of this, but I think there are 3 women who are often mentioned because they helped make the revolutionary flag at Sudlon, and their names are Mauricia Kahuma and
Justina Peña.
Buena Ricardo, and Justina Peña. Justina Peña, I don't know about the other two, but Justina Peña was the wife or the sister of Ambrosio Peña, the Practico del Puerto, who was recruited early on by the Katipuneros. And maybe follow up of the idea that the Katipuneros were really not that instrumental in the uprising. And I wouldn't say that it's possible that without the Katipuneros, there would still have be an uprising, no? In 1896 in Luzon, and here it's 1898. So 2 years difference. But it was let's say it was done, the uprising, with the help of the Katipuneros. 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗱 himself was the leader of the Katipunan, and he came from Manila. Okay, so you're asking about the women too, no? And so aside from the flag makers and the nurses and the cooks and the mothers who were not named, you had also those who distributed the anting-anting, and there are names here, but you also have the nurses. They are natives. Names like Sebastiana Espina, Feliciana Bracamonte, Romana Lasala, Hilaria Salinas, Juana Mendez, Damiana Veloso, Pilar Hayes, Juliana Abiliana, and Dominga Cruz. That is recorded. They were nurses. And aside from that, they also were, they search a kind of a symbol for what they were doing, no? In April 3, in the morning, there were, because it was Holy Wednesday, no? There were already some liturgical celebrations or rites in the church, and the women were I think directed by the men, revolutionaries, to play a role. Like they went to church in their finery, like embroidered slippers and veils, etc. But at 3 o'clock, they loosened their hair as a symbol of freedom instead of keeping them in their buns, no? Ilang release symbol ko na to sa kuan. At the same time that the newly installed bell of San Nicolas was clanged, no? Or was sounded, the first shot of Tres de Abril uprising was released. Okay.
Daghang salamat, Dr. Erlinda. So we have heard so many names of the women in the 1898 revolution against Spain. And so we have heard more names from Dr. Erlinda's discussion. And Dr. Michael Cullinane only mentioned only a few names, like because he chose from those who were published 3 times. So he only included in the leaders of the Cebu Revolution here, he only mentioned a handful. So he mentioned Paulina Padilla, who was a soltera, 50 years old. It was in her house that the revolution met. So 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗱 also slept there and also ate there. It's a staging area. Sister of Candido Padilla, and the aunt of Toribio, because there are many accounts that Toribio Padilla, the chaplain, that we would say the chaplain of the Cebu Katipunan, or the chaplain of the Cebu Revolutionary Society, is also the Padilla clan are actually the ones who started the revolution in San Nicolas. So aside from Paulina Padilla, 50 years old, soltera, and then meetings were done in her house. Her house was a staging area. So after the meeting at Isidro Gibilondo's house on the night of April 2, 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗱 went to Paulina Padilla's house. So aside from Paulina Padilla, Dr. Cullinane mentioned Juliana Revillas, a Spanish mestiza, the second wife of Candido Padilla. And he mentioned an active planner of the revolution. So Juliana, so we made actually a song and a video for Juliana, Gugmang Gihandom. Watch that video at the Pangas de Cebu Heritage Hotel YouTube channel. So aside from Juliana Revillas, he also mentioned Constancia Alaura. So Constancia Alaura was the sister of Simplicio Alaura, a daughter of Casimiro Alaura, all revolutionaries. Initiations of the Katipunan were done in the house of Casimiro Alaura. So, only 3. Grabe ni si Mike. I told Mike Colline, Dr. Mike, you only mentioned 3 women in your book. And then Mike said, you know, so he said so many things. Miss Mayen is here, who also discussed the Chinese mestizo with Dr. Mike. Thank you for coming. I didn't recognize you when you had a mask. So now I say congratulations for your play. Yes. So 3 women only. So when we had the 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗃 play by the Bag-ong Teatro Junquera, we tried to find a love interest of Leon Quilat. And we decided that it should be Constancia because she is the youngest, she's not married, and Leon Quilat personally recruited her. And Leon Quilat would sleep in her house. So we made Constancia have a crush on Leon Quilat. But of course, Leon Quilat only loved the country. So we hope to stage again the 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗃 play within the year, hopefully, or next year. So we hope to have it soon. So only 3 from my clinic. So we have our rooms named in honor of Juliana Revillas. We have a room named for the 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗵 𝗔𝗰𝗂𝐿 sa bandera. We have their names at our wall of heroes there at our Galeria Independencia. So Mike would always say, it is the women who should, but I don't know if he said this, but he mentioned that there should be more research for women to be in the history. So next we would like to ask Dr. Erlinda regarding the important contributions of the president of the Cebu Revolutionary Organization, who also became the president of Cebu, or the provincial governor, the first governor of Cebu. So we would like to ask about Luis Flores. She already mentioned that Luis Flores originally came from Samar, so we would like to ask more, to know more about Luis Flores.
He took on the name of Unos as his nom de guerre, no? Like Pantaleon Villegas was known as Leon Quilat, and Eugenio Gines was known as Lindol, and Tomas Burgos was known as Ahus. So he was, si Alejo Minosa was known as Suot, and Luis Flores was known as Unos, no? You know what Unos is? Forceful wind. He got married to Maria Andrada, who belonged to the gremio, the mestizos. No, there were 3 gremios, or groups of ethnic groups, depending on they would be administrative units. Gremios de naturales would be the natives. Gremios de mestizos would be for the Spanish, and then gremios de chinos for the Chinese. Anyway, Luis Flores was part of the naturales, but the relatives or his mga in-laws were part of gremio de españoles, or because they were the mestizos, because they were half-breeds. What else? He worked as procurador, or that means law official of the Court of First Instance. How do you say that in Spanish? Primera instancia, juzgado de primera instancia, and had the longest experience in government among the revolutionaries. That's probably why he was chosen as the first leader, no, or president of the revolutionary government. 𝗫𝐶𝐿𝗻 was a military arm, no? Okay, and he was also a proprietor because his wife was not very, very wealthy, but a bit well off. They were able to procure lands in Lahug, and even in Compostela, no? Sa north dapit. And they had no children. What else do I know about him? he was he was very well into the middle of the fights in the Spanish anti-Spanish uprising, the whole of April 3, even before April 3, and he was one of the first initiated into the Katipunan, no, of Cebu. And when he was always with 𝗫𝐶𝐿𝗻, 𝗩𝗶𝐿𝗵 on one hand and 𝗫𝐶𝐿𝗻 on the other. And even when after 𝗩𝗶𝐿𝗵 died, one of his contributions would be his together with 𝗫𝐶𝐿𝗻 continuing the revolution. When after the death of 𝗩𝗶𝐿𝗵, Luis Flores went to the mountains, and the Tabal brothers, who were the strong people in Sudlon, invited the revolutionaries to take their to bring their headquarters there, and they could plan and recruit some more people there in the mountains as well as in the cities, and bring them there and plan the rest of the revolution. After that, he also when the after the revolutionary government, no, there was a provincial junta. So it's the whole of the province of Cebu, and he was the president. In fact, Luis Flores can be called the first governor of Cebu, no? Though some say it was Julio Llorente because of the civil government, but he was elected, and so he's the first governor. And what else? After when the Americans came, he was still elected into office, no, province-wide. However, it was a coalition government because wala namang Spaniards. The Americans were here, and the loyalists like Julio Llorente, for example, who did not take part in revolution, were part of the coalition government because they were in power. And of course, Julio Llorente is very important because he was an ilustrado. He met Jose Rizal in Spain, and for a while joined the propaganda movement in Spain. So when he came back here, and then they had this rivalry, he was eventually elected and replaced Luis Flores as the governor. He died. I don't remember, maybe 19, the second decade, and that's all. He had no family. His wife probably also died not much later. He had no children, and he died alone. Okay.
Yes, but he has done so much for Cebu and the country, although he surrendered during the American period. So we out the street at Pasil, it's L. Flores Street. Some letters are already gone, but we had a short film done there. Our story was about a descendant of Luis Flores, even if it may be a descendant, maybe not really a direct. So a descendant of Luis Flores meeting a puso maker in Pasig. So it's a love story, but also about the revolution in 1898. So we haven't released that yet widely. We plan to do that in the future. But then it is Luis Flores is just in a very, very small. I mean, the street is not really as visible as General Maximum Street. So there was a question actually from one of the scriptwriters. Our scriptwriters at the time were from the CNU and UP Theater, UP Theater, and also from the Cebu Normal University Theater. And then they were asking, was it because he surrendered to the Americans? That's why he is assigned as a small a street that is not as visible as the other streets, or what do you think?
I don't know. He was very sick already, no? When the Americans were in power. So he served in the provincial government just for a few years, and then Julio Lorente took over.
Yes. So now we would like to ask Dr. Erlinda regarding the other heroes of the 1898 Cebu Revolution. So there are 300 names on that wall outside at the wall of heroes. When you go out, look for your family name if it's there. So it has the last name and the middle name. And then, of course, you may not already be, even if they are your ancestors, but you may no longer be named. Your surname may not be the same as them, but maybe you could still trace. So, of course, the whole of Cebu rose up against Spain. That's why there were only a few loyalists. Some loyalists before uh, they changed loyalty to the Cebu Revolution. Later, when the Cebu Revolution was winning, even the bishop of Cebu, the Spanish bishop of was Franciscan Bishop Martin Garcia Alcocer. So Dr. Michael Lenain was saying that Luis Flores and Bishop Martin Alcocer were friends because Luis Flores in Samar was also educated by the Franciscans. So, so now we would like to ask Dr. Linda if to tell us about a few more heroes of the Cebu Revolution against Spain, aside from Luis Flores and the ones we have mentioned already.
I have read more on two heroes than others, but one of them is Aranas, who will be the subject of this other source speaker. And in fact, I think the Cebu Arts Council sponsored a playwriting contest with Bonifacio Aranas as the subject. It's the first time that they sponsored this category in Cebuano. So the other hero that I'm more familiar with is Alejo Minyosa, who is known as Suot, no? His nom de guerre. This simply because there is I read an interview published by his son Ildefonso, and so he gave us a lot more about his father, but mostly about the last years of his father, which a bit tragic. But anyway, Alejo Minyosa was, like Luis Flores, also deep into the revolution from beginning to end. Was an escribiente of the of the same court where Luis Flores was, no? So they were kind of patron-client relationship, and an escribiente is kind of clerk, no, in the court, and so the reason why they were always together also is that. But his name Suot probably was came about because he had this ability to kanang musut-suot bitaw sa mga forest, the thick crowd, and you just lose him, no? He knew how to wind his way around mazes and things like that. And that is very important in trapping the cazadores or the Spaniards. He would lead them to an ambush, no? So his fellow revolutionaries would be hiding behind the bushes, and he would lead them there. And so in the Battle of Budlaan, for example, that was the highlighted by this tactic, no? But in other battles, like I don't remember Lantayon or what, it was not very successful. I think because the Spaniards were already wise to it. What else? So he took part in all the meetings of the revolutionaries before the uprising, and he was given important functions, no, like to lead a group. Like he was, I think, in the middle of a column at Tres de Abril together with Leon Quilat. And so there's a story by Ildefonso when he was after the death of Leon Quilat, the revolutionaries went to their own places, and so Alijo Mendoza went home to Talamban, no, in the hills. And one time the cazadores were looking for him, passed by their house, but he was not disguised but working like a gardener in their vegetable garden, and so they just passed by. Ora na.
Daghang salamat, Dr. Erlinda. So Alejo Mendoza is we would know there is a Mendoza Street in Talamban. So of course, Mendoza was the right hand of Leon Quilat during the Battle of Tres de Abril. You would see his very dashing photo. He is very guapo in his photo. You would see that in the also in the Gallery of Heroes at the Galleria Independencia. Guapo kay na si Alejo Mendoza, and then they were so skillful in war, like their tactics, for example, with Lorenzo Ihi. So we named one of our rooms in honor of Lorenzo Ihi, acquire a member of choir. Wala na gyud. We tried to look for descendants of Lorenzo Ihe. Wala na gyud. Maybe they changed their family name. So, but he was taas kay ni siya Ihi. Kay nga no, kanang they were with Alejo Mendoza, they were able to beat the Spaniards in the Battle of Budlaan. There were battles in Talamban. They fought and they won. They would, diba, they would draw in. They had these tactics that they would bait the Spaniards, and they would go inside the forest, and macheteros, like 70 to 90, 100 macheteros are there waiting, and then they would be pursuing the Spaniards. So Dionisio described that very well here in his book. It's just like a movie. They were screaming, the Spaniards were screaming in that battle. So there were, and also they also fought even in the battles in Mandaue. Yes. So of course, so look for Alejo Mendoza there at the Gallery of Heroes. So we have this. We are now going to listen in a while to also the performance of a descendant of the Revolutionary General, the Alineo generals. So of course, the Alineos were very fierce warriors in the 1898 revolution against Spain. Is the camera already ready and the microphone for our for the performance? So this would be no accompaniment. So if you have heard already this video, it's the song O Pilipinas. It is in our Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel YouTube channel. It's O Pilipinas. So attorney Rex Alineo Fernandez, in one of our, the late attorney Rex Alineo Fernandez, in one of our celebrations of the 1898 victory, December 29. So he sang this song, and then he said he asked me, because he saw that we are producing songs on Cebu history and on love and war and history. So he said that I want this song not to vanish or to just disappear. So I want this song to be known by the young people. Makahilak po sa toy. So Rex was really very insistent, so I had no choice but to produce it. And I asked him to choose from the bands that we invited. And so we gave his sample and also Iris Alineo. So we have now Iris Alineo Fernandez Inking to perform for us a 125, more than 125-year-old song handed down to them by their revolutionary ancestors. So we produce them, and we have a modern arrangement and also the original arrangement sung by the very talented Iris Alinio Fernandez Inking. She is also one of our our coaches, our mentors for our Bag-ong Teatro Junquera. So please help me welcome the Iris Alinio Fernandez Inking for Pilipinas.
Mayong hapon sa tanan. Descendant ko ni Potenciano Alinio from Talisay. My mother was a granddaughter of Potenciano. The three generals, no, siya. My grandfather was the translator of Mi Ultima Adios ni Jose Rizal into Cebuano. So, this song I will sing today was already produced by Pamgrass. I was the singer kunuhay, forced by forced, walay choice. Anyway, my mother taught this song to us na nisulti siya na gitudluan sa iyang amahan. Ngan siyang amahan si Basilio, no, gikan sa no limitang hire, Basilio angan sa kong lolo, Basilio Alinio. So this is the song entitled O Pilipinas. I will sing this in a cappella. O Pilipinas, yuta kong natauhan, ning kinabuhi ko, akong itugyan, ning kasing-kasing ko, permi lang gasubo, tungod sa gobyerno, nga dili pa ato. Kinsa ba kaha, ang dili mabalaka, kinsa ba kaha, ang walay amor sa patriya, nga wala hatagi sa independensya. Tala-tala na mga igsuon, mamauli na kita ngadto sa sudlon, dili kita mo oner, niya ng taong malupigon, nga maoy nagbaligya sa ato nga nasyon. Tala-tala na mga igsuon, mamauli na kita ngadto sa sudlon, dili kita mo oner, niya ng taong malupigon, nga maoy nagbaligya sa ato nga nasyon. Maura na mga kaigsuonan.
A round of applause for the very talented Iris Alinio Fernandez Inking. And so we have an English translation of that for those who don't understand the Cebuano. So there were also questions regarding dili kita mo uner. So what does uner mean? And then we roughly translated it into we don't surrender to those, but then someone commented that it is we don't join those or something like that. Those who betrayed our nation. Dili kita mo oner sa mga to the oppressors, sa mga taong malupigon who sold our country. So that song could have been sung when Leon Quilat was betrayed on April 8, Good Friday of 1898. And then they sang it again when some of the leaders of the revolution surrendered to the Americans. But Alinio, the Maxilums, and Juan Climaco went to the mountains, back to the mountains of Sudlon to continue the fight because they don't believe that the Americans would free us from control. So that song is one of the songs in the Abtik Paskilat album. So this is available at Pamgrass Sinugatan, Gifts from Cebu. This is an audio album, so you can just hear it. Audio ready siya. But the videos are on at the Pangras, the Cebu Heritage Hotel YouTube channel. So there are many songs here. So of course, now we would like to ask our other resource person regarding details of B. Aranas, General Bonifacio Aranas. So we have with us a filmmaker who is currently making a video about B. Aranas. So he is still has not released the video. So, but he has done a lot of research. So that's how I met him, because he was also here to look at our gallery and to talk with us regarding B. Aranas. So we have Vic Asidilio with us, and we would like to ask Vic. So Vic, we would like to ask you regarding the highlights or the contribution of General Bonifacio Aranas to the first and the second phase of the 1898 Cebu Revolution.
Actually, on the first phase of the revolution, B. Aranas is not really mentioned that much, other than he was part of the list of officers in the revolutionary government, and then he also helped monitor when they were surrounding the Fort San Pedro. But I think the biggest contribution of Aranas is bringing the revolution to the west side of Cebu, the west coastal towns. Because what happened was, when Leon Quilat died, the Katipuneros were confused, the revolutionaries were confused because there's no leader. And then the Don Juan de Austria, the additional support of additional men of the Spanish arrived, so they were outnumbered. So they decided to move to the mountains. So Luis Flores went to Sudlon with Rafael Tabal, but B. Aranas went to Toledo with Mariano Hernandez and 3 others. But the 3 others, they actually went to Negros. Mariano Hernandez stayed in a convent. But who really continued the fight was B. Aranas himself. And he made friends there. He met Bacchus. His name is Bukidnon or Bacchus. He's like the Tabals. They are rebels they live in the mountains, and they are basically rebels. And that is when the movement of Aranas going to different towns in the western coastal towns happened, because he made friends. Because some of the other revolutionaries from Cebu City were gone. So he had to tie up with the Maxilom and other people to help him fight the battle. I think if that happen, he did not do that, there will be no war on the coastal western towns. They were partly leaderless when Leon Quilat died, but he took into himself to really become the leader and continue the battle. That is I think the biggest contribution of B. Aranas.
So, daghang salamat, Vic, for discussing the contribution of B. Aranas. So was he in the Battle of Tres de Abril?
He was in the Battle of Tres de Abril because he's under Mariano Hernandez, but he's not written in the books and articles. he is mentioned by Gregorio Avellana, who is a writer and also a Katipunero, that he was assigned by the leaders of the revolutionaries to check on Fort San Pedro because nothing was happening. They were just watching. They cannot penetrate the fort. And the Aranas came back and told the leaders that we have a problem because the Katipuneros are not busy trying to fight or to take control of the fort. They were busy looting the houses in the empty houses around the city. So that's the only thing written about the Aranas in the first phase. But he was mostly very active on the second phase when he went to the western
So
coastal
daghang salamat,
towns.
Vic. So we would now like to ask regarding how the Aranas became a general.
First of all, he's not really a trained general because he went to school to become a priest, and then eventually he worked as an escabiente in the ayuntamiento. He became a general. He was actually assigned as division colonel. As a division colonel, I don't know why he was. Probably because he has a gun. He has a weapon, and weapons are rare during those times. Not everybody can own a gun. So probably that's one of the reasons he was assigned a position. And also, he's probably very charismatic person because he was able to convince, people in Toledo to join him. And it is actually in Toledo where the people gave him the title as general.
Yes. So there are questions, I mean, not questions, but comments from our audience from the National Quincentennial Committee page. 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗰 says, good afternoon from Naga City, Bicol. And we have he is saying, Diyos marhay na aldaw po. And also, Cabino Guerrero says he is nagtanaw gikan sa yutang natawhan ni Pantaleon Villegas. So he's in Negros Oriental. Raul Gabriel Buzon says, good afternoon, and I'll be heading on site. And Marie Chris Onding says, good afternoon from the Cipriano Santa Teresa Elementary School of Schools Division, Taguig City and Pateros. So, Vic, we now would like to ask you to elaborate on the childhood of B. Aranas and how he came to Cebu and his activities in Cebu.
B. Aranas was born in June 5, 1875. He is a bit 2 years younger than Leon Quilat. And at first he studied in Camiguin, and the way this is it's a face app photo to make him look young, just for us to imagine. So he was a kid, and he is portrayed as somebody who loves warfare. So he would make these toys made of carton, toy soldiers, and then he will make them fight. That is his thing. And then he is even portrayed as a very, in Visayas, isog. He's very hot-headed. He always wants to challenge people. One time he shot a bird, a 𝗘𝗿𝗹𝗶 bird, a yellow bird common in Camiguin. And then a Spanish said, that's 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗯𝗂𝗶𝗃. 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗯𝗂𝗃, I think it's like a chamba, or it's a fluke. And then he challenged that Spanish neighbor to a duel. And then another time, when he reached 16 years old, he was brought to Seminario de San Carlos. And then, in Seminario de San Carlos, he also had an argument with the rector because the food was bad. So he went to the rector, I demand that we are paying that tuition fee, so you should give us good food. So, that's how he's depicted in the stories. He's a very, principled guy who wants to fight. That is how he's being depicted. And then, afterwards, he eventually he left the seminario and then worked at the ayuntamiento. But the details of the clue on how we found that he was part of the ayuntamiento was when Felix Salis was writing the book, Sugbo sa Karaang Panahon, he is mentioned together with other escabientes. Actually, the most of Mariano Hernandez's cabecilla are escabientes. That's a unique part of the, maybe they were friends. They worked in the same office, and then maybe Bonifacio recruited other cabecilla members of Mariano Hernandez. So that's it. That he became and then he joined the revolutionaries.
So he studied at the Seminario Colegio de San Carlos, but did he want to become a priest?
He was here in Camiguin, the descendant said, he was actually planning to become a priest, studying to become a priest, because his brother is the first local priest of Camiguin. And it said in one article, during that time, he was the coadjutor in San Nicolas, his brother. So maybe he was planning to become a priest, and then he got, disoriented, or I don't know. But it's a local story. It's not written anywhere. It's just a family. It's a family lore.
So of course, at that time, most of those who would study for higher education should study priesthood, because there are not much colleges or universities that would cater to the rest of the population. That's those who would just be civilians, but those who most of them studied in the seminario for them to get a higher education. And we would know that a large percentage of the leaders of the Cebu Revolution against Spain studied in the seminario. So of course, the seminario, we would say that the seminario has a big part in the revolution against Spain, because most of the leaders, even Potenciano Alinio, right? He also studied in the seminario. So I actually asked Michael Linane about this. So he said it's not because the priest taught them to revolt, but then it was their way of gathering together and learning knowledge, and so they question things. So of course, so that's how they became revolutionaries, and not because of what the priest taught them. So we would now like to ask Vic regarding to tell us about. So there was already a question about this, the anting-anting of Leon Quilat and the other revolutionaries. So did Bonifacio Aranas also have magical powers? And what are the anting-anting of the revolutionaries in Cebu?
Again, I'm going to tell you this is a family lore. It's just passed down, and a lot of them have similarities. I think all of when your grandparents will tell you about your great grandfather who's a hero, they will attribute a lot of magical powers. For B. Aranas, they say that he's so light that he can stand on top of a banana leaf and then jump to another banana leaf. Then another one, he can, if there's a horse, he can cripple the horse with just one hand. And then he's also, he can jump from the second floor of from the window of the house. And then when he falls down, there's a horse. He just land there. And he also, he moves so fast, he just disappears. When he can go in just like a Sigbin, the Sigbin story. I'm here then because I have a Sigbin. I will go there in just like that. And there are others like he can jump, in the pilapil, in the rice field. He will jump from one pilapil to the next, and he won't get soiled. And there are a lot of things like that. But the thing is that what I find interesting is we also interviewed katipuneros in Luzon, in Cavite, which is the anting-anting city in anting-anting center in I don't know if it's the whole Philippines or just in Luzon. And there are similar stories, that the leaf stories. It is also being told there because their uncle who is a katipunero can do as magical powers. They can disappear. The bullets cannot hit them. And I think I don't know if that's their way of making us remember. Because if there's magic, yes, it will create your imagination, explodes. So maybe, I don't know if it's a strategy to tell a story that way so it can be remembered, or maybe it's true during their time. I don't know.
So, of course, Iris Elinio Fernandez Inking is here. His ancestors also had magic powers. One of them can bend steel, and one of them can teleport, and one of them can. Basta, they have magic powers. I already. It's actually written in the wallpaper of the room, named in honor of the Tulo ka General nga Alinio. And also we have this by the children. It's also based from the stories. Also, according to Felix Salis. Also, the reference of Leon Kilat, and then also this by Genesius. So you see here the the triangular cloth that is an anting-anting. They would believe that if they would wear this, they would not be hit by the bullet. Also, the vestidora, it works like a bulletproof vest. So, of course, the heroes had magical powers, or the amulets. So they believe, so according also to one historian, Dr. George Borinaga, that the belief in anting-anting was one of the reasons that they were successful in the revolution in the Visayas against Spain. So we have one more question for Vic. Please discuss the versions of how Bonifacio Aranas challenged the Spanish General Montero.
When we are doing research, we encountered three versions of this when B. Aranas challenged General Montero. But as I said, B. Aranas is being depicted as somebody is very hot-headed and will challenge anyone. So I encountered these three versions. Written in 1931, another one in 1935, another one in 1953. So in 1953, General Montero said, this happened when he was captured and going to be before he was executed. So they had this verbal discussion because Aranas works in the government, so General Montero feels bad about that because he's rebelling against, the boss. So in one event, in Felix Sales's version, General Montero said, "Okay, 4 shots." This is the English version, so I just 4 shots, traitor, rebel, savage. Then B. Arana said, "I am not a traitor. I am defending the rights of my country. And for this, you will shoot me?" That's yung version niya, no? And then another one, the 1953, there's another, I don't know, version of that, that drama. General Montero said, "Kanyala!" Of course, B. Aranas is hogtied and probably on the floor, and Montero is going to kick him or something. He said, "Kanyala!" Then B. Aranas said, "Untie me and let's fight like men." So it's very dramatic, the B. Aranas, the encounters. And the third version, this is in Visaya, so you have to bear with me, Visaya. This is what this was written in Bag-ong 1931. And it's written, this is what B. Aranas said. "Gitan-aw mo nga ako gibinakid sa mga kamot, ug mao kana nga ikaw, Ginoong General, nakaako pagbiyay-biyay kanako ug pagbugal-bugal. Kung tuod kang kabalyero, buhi ako ug takos kitang duha sa kampo aron pag-ila kung kinsay maisog kanato ug kinsay angay mabuhi." So if you doing some research, it's pretty interesting to look at these things. But it just proves that B. Aranas is really a fighter.
Yes. So B. Aranas was a very brave person, a warrior. He challenged General Montero to a duel because according also in the account by Junichi, quoted from Feso Sango, si B. Aranas was going back. He wanted to build a revolutionary, he wanted to start a revolution in Mindanao, in Camiguin. So he passed by Bohol, and that's where he was arrested, right? He was arrested in Bohol, and he was brought back to Cebu, to Fort San Pedro, and that's where he challenged the Spanish General Montero to a duel, to see who between them is the better soldier. And of course, General Montero had him executed. So General Montero did not accept the invitation for a duel. He instead had him
Executed him.
killed. So wala na storya. I am the better general. I would kill you even without a duel. So of course, so this is B. Arana. So now we know the story behind that street name that we see near Asabana, SIT, Tabuan, near Tabuan. So we see his name, B. Aranas. We don't know who he is. So now we know he was a seminarian. He led battles in Balamban, Toledo, and also he challenged the Spanish general to a duel. Pero of course, gipatay ra sa so you would know more about that here in this book. Sa footnotes.
Footnotes.
So now we have a reactor. So our conversations we will now have open forum after this, and stay tuned for the trivia quiz with exciting prizes. So there is a question for the on-site audience and for the online audience, and also for everyone. So prepare your questions, and we have with us our reactor from the Department of Political Science of the University of the Visayas. We have 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗶 So do we have him? Is this a girl, a boy, or a girl? Uh, is it 𝗘𝗿𝗶? For him, in his behalf. So we have, what's your name? Jana. So we have Jana from the Political Science Department of, please go to the microphone. So we have the reaction from Jana from the UV Political Science
So,
Department.
good afternoon, everyone. So, I am Jana 𝗘𝗿𝗶 from the UBPSS University of the Visayas Political Science students. So, first, I would like to say thank you for having us here. It's such a privilege and such an honor to be a part of the said event. So, I am here standing in front to all of you to I would like to impart my insight for this event. So the first video that has been played before I can say that it is a very interesting one because you do it in an entertainment way, because I know that we all agree that studying history is boring. I know we all agree to that, but somehow I think that was really the reality, or for today's if we put the past generation to today's generation, and where when the technology has an advancement in every human being, in which taking pictures, selfies, and live before facing such crisis. And we all know that through this new technology, a lot of advantages and disadvantages. What really important is that we may not forget what we have really fight for. And when Spaniard, we talk about the induce. Yeah, if you don't know, so induce is the forced labor. Yeah, it's a definition, simply the forced labor of the past centuries during the Spaniards era, or Spaniards era, or Spaniards days. So, and that enlightened our mind that we should know our rights. We should know how to fight back, and it's not enough that we know. It's not enough that we know what is our rights, but also it is important to be more mindful along the way, to plan, to think especially on when was the right time to fight the opponent. So I think that will be all. Thank you.
Daghang salamat to daghang salamat to um to Jana of the University of the Visayas. We have one more question. We have an open forum, and thank you to Miss Marlinda Ang Betiktan, our resource person for the Chinese mestizos in Cebu, for this gift. And this is for the birthday of Congress to Cebu Heritage Hotel. For the anniversary of the, thank you very much for this beautiful gift. So we have already the questions from our audience. So we have Dr. Erlinda. So for the online questions, I would be the one reading it. From the questions from the audience, it would be our facilitator, our moderator, Josh, who would give the question. I would get the question from the audience. So we have also a reactor from the Talisay City College, a BS in Education, major in Social Studies. Please help me welcome Ronnie Sisante.
Um, Good evening, everyone. I am Ronnie Sisante, taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Social Studies at the Talisay City College. And first, before I give my takeaways on the event, I would like to give thanks to Palm Grass, the Cebu Heritage, for inviting us here and be one of the proponents, no, in helping us to learn more about the local history. So first, uh, what I really learned, or like my takeaways on this said event, is that learning local history will help us be propelled on the things that we need to combat. Especially, there's a lot of misconception and misinformation happening, and learning local history will not just be on the books, not solely on the books, but also ma kuan jud ta nga we need to learn, because there's a lot to learn. And of course, being a Cebuano does not only take nga arira ka for your identity, but it's also the origin of how unsa ka nga pagka Cebuano. And of course, once again, the bravery of the Visayan warriors wakes up and continue its legacy of the Cebuano heroes to fight for the independence for the Filipino community. And there's a lot of things to be remembered, especially in times like this, because we remember the heroes, who fought back and attained the freedom that the Filipino community enjoys today. And let us be remembered that we need to have the courage, not just for the heroes, but we need the courage to fight back, because oppressors, mga undeniable nga killings, or like mga immoral acts, and the politics, or like in the society, is present nowadays. And history tells us that we need to be part of this catalyst for change. And let's highlight that being a Filipino, or being a Cebuano, is more than just an identity, but rather a form, or a form, or what do you call this, an origin that naadjutay padulngan, and that is to empower our lives, the bravery acts, and our service. So I think that's it, ma'am.
Daghang salamat, Ronnie, for your insights regarding heroism. So now we would go to our open forum. So we have our resource persons. We have Dr. Erlinda Alburo. May we show her also, and also Vic Asidilio. So we would request our audience to give your name and question, and you. And there is already a question here online. So we have a question. Who were the valiant women of the Tres de Abril? So this came in late. So ako na lang gusulti. So Dr. Erlinda gave us a list of those women who, like the Hermana de la Caridad, the Sisters of Charity, who cured the wounded revolutionaries. Both actually, so both sides they treated the wounded during the 1898 revolution. We had the three women who ang nagtahi sa the flag of based from the measurements from Manila, the one made by the three women also in brought by Aguinaldo. One of those women were a niece of Rizal, and one is and then so we have the women here also, and then that flag was flown in Sudlon. And so we have From my colonnade, we have Constancia Alaura, Juliana Revillas. Dr. Erlinda also mentioned Juliana Revillas, and of course, Paulina Padilla, and then other women who helped in distributing the amulets during the Tres de Abril. So we have Cyril Guanzon Poblador watching from Taguig National High School. Zarled Rose Carpio watching from Napindan Integrated School in SDO Tapat. So for more questions, please type your questions for those who are online, and those who are on site. Si Josh is with you. So may we have Josh?
Hello. Hi. Okay, hello to atong on-site audience. So, guys, do we have any questions for our speakers, for Sir Vic and Mama Linda or Dr. Linda? Or was that well explained already?
Wala na question?
Do we have any
Tongue-tied
questions?
na mo or kung ano mo, no? Hurot na tanan ay yung question. Wala na comments din ha, reaction.
How about this one? Where can we buy the book, and where can we buy the book na lang, from Doc, and then probably with when can we expect to see the film by Sir Vic?
So these books are available at Pamgras. The Sumad of Dr. Erlinda is out of print.
De La Salman.
So it's out of print, her articles on the heroes of the 1898 Cebu Revolution. It's out of print. We hope to print it. So we hope to have it printed in the future, and revised version. So, and then of course we also have these books by Dr. Michael Cullinane. It's at Pamgras Basahanan. Gifts from Cebu. We have also the pre-war Cebuano novel, but this is more on the American period. So, and then we have other books about Andres Bonifacio. This is by 𝗓𝐿𝗶. So this is Bayani biographies by 𝗓𝐿𝗶. And this is also available only for 300 pesos. Kinira mo yun ay price. Kaya gigamit na ini sa kuan. Gigamit na ini during one of our live events, live selling events. So we have this book also. This was a reference. This is mentioned by Dr. Risil Muarez when he had his talk here in 2019. So this contains the original documents of the Katipunan. The Light of Liberty by Jim Richardson. So this has original documents by the Katipunan, of Andres Bonifacio. So now so we have the closing statements from Dr. Erlinda Alburo, because the next part would be the cosplay contest and also the trivia quiz. We have the closing statements from Dr. Erlinda Alburo and Vic Asidilio.
Closing?
Yes.
Well, I hope you will still continue your interest in our own history. By the way, the commission where I work in, the Historical and Cultural Affairs Commission of Cebu City, will be launching a project on the histories of the barangays of Cebu City. So if anybody of you can help us, any information, or even just tell us any source that you know that we can have, probably not written because we have already those written sources, but people who can talk to us about some events in their barangays. We have enough on the big barangays who really figure in our history. San Nicolas, Parian, and Tinago, and Guadalupe, but the mountain barangays, for example, we don't really have much.
Daghang salamat, Dr. Erlinda. It's a pleasure to have you with us for the first time. We hope for our next time. And then, of course, you have the closing words from Vic Asidilio.
Hopefully, this year I will finish the documentary on Bonifacio Aranas, and I promise that I will show it in Pamgras Hotel.
Yes. So daghang salamat to Vic. It's also a pleasure having you with us, and we hope to already see your video soon. Daghang salamat to Vic, and we hope to have you here at Palmgrass when you come to Cebu.
Yeah.
So daghang salamat to Dr. Erlinda Alburo and to Vic Asidilio and to our reactors. Maayong hapon. So we turn you over to Josh.
Thank you.
Sound check. Okay, so once again, let us give a round of applause once again to Dr. Linda Cervic and of course Miss A for handling the talk. I do hope na we learned something from this talk. So did you guys learn something? Okay, now of course, if you wish to review the video, it is already in our FB page in Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. So, of course, with other videos as well. And if you wish to buy any of the books, it is downstairs. You can buy it there, secure it there. Palmgrass is selling a lot of these books. Okay, now, before we proceed to our competition, our cosplay contest, we have a song performance. So, okay, so I would like to call here in front our performers. We have here Jomar and Shang. A big round of applause.
Hello, Mike. Hello, Mike says.
Hello.
Babae, apil nga babae, gigukod ka. Usa ka adlaw sa among nga balay, ka nagabhian. Kung mauna ni mga good na swertihan, nagdali kong idayag pangutanan, gitipigan. Layon sa imong kaisog, kagwapo, kakusgan. Naapay swerteng babae diha sa imong dunghan. Sa matang may kiblat, ikaw nitugan.
Sa manimong nagwapa o puotan, mga payo sa maniaring bulan, dili ka ba'y lubisa sa bulawan. Ato siyang ngalaran, pag-igawayan, pakamatyan. Siya mao ang Pilipinas, atong yutang natawan.
Despera sa Tres de Abril, kirabatok sa katsila. Nabait ka sa sundang, unya puwerte mong singuta. Mga katipunerang gwapa, wala jud ni mo tagda. Abril 5, gitastas mong mga kanyon sa Fort San Pedro, iiwan ko. Hanap yung kupigan. Layon sa imong kaisog, kagwapo, kakusgan. Naapay swerteng babae diha sa imong dughan. Sa matang may kiblat, ikaw mitukan. Sa manimong nagwapa o puotan, mga pahiyong sa maniya ng bulan. Di ka ba'y lumisan sa bulawan? Ato siyang halaran, makikawayan, pakamatyan. Siya mo ang Pilipinas, ato yutang natauhan. Ay layon nga nung apil dughang mapoblan, mapungasing balay mo lang di paghagi. Apipit mo pa pa akong dughan, pwede man tang magkuyog tang duha. Magkuson na to sa gugma, kining nasura, pildihon pa ng dautan. Iling gawas ang katawhan, kabuto na tuang kadaugan. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, once again, that was Jomar and Shang. What was the title of the song again? Gugmang Kilat. I believe those are one of the original songs that you can buy here in Palmgrass. So once again, a round of applause. So aside from intellectual content, nabutay entertainment content right here at Cebu, or rather Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. Okay, now, we will now proceed to our cosplay contest, Tres de Abril Heroes. So we have 4 contestants ready. So, nabatay background music. So let us begin. Okay, so before we proceed to our contestants, so let us, so I'll be calling them one by one, guys. Okay, so cosplayers, are you ready? Okay. Ready na, uy. Ready na, kay manihapon pa ta. Okay, so let us proceed with our first cosplayer. Let's welcome Leon Kilat.
Mayong gabi, ako rin si Ferdinand Ascaraga. Nag-portray sa character ni Pantaleon Villegas o mas naila nga si Leon Kilat.
So we have a question for Leon Kilat. So you can just face the audience and our judge. So the question is this. For you, what is your most powerful anting-anting, and explain? What is your most powerful? I mean, you can explain in Bisaya. Yes.
Para nako ang pinaka-powerful tingali nga anting-anting is ang akong mga mata kay kuan kay siya kanang pwede nimong gamiton ang imong mga mata para mo command, mohatag og signal o muhatag o kanibitong expressions based sa mga butang nga dili nimo pwedeng isulti. So sumala pa sa katong kanta ganina, sa matang ni kidlap ikaw mitug-an. Usama nimo nga gwapa og buutan. So para nako mao na siya ang akong anting-anting.
Daghang salamat. So Ferdinand Ascaraga said that his most powerful anting-anting are his eyes, because it is the eyes can command and can direct, and unsa pa ganito mo maoy mo, so the eyes will deliver the message regarding the, of course, fighting for the country. Daghang salamat.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, cosplayer number 1. That was Leon Kilat. Up next, we have cosplayer number 2, 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗰𝗱𝗶.
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Edgar as 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗰𝗱𝗶.
𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗰𝗱𝗶, please tell us about what you did in the revolution. Oh, ingay na lang. Please tell us about your most important weapon in the revolution. Or kada nila choose between the two questions, what you did or your most important weapon in the revolution.
Akong dughan kay bisag kapilyan na og kadaghan na ang nagyan nga kasakit padayon gihapon.
So, General 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗰𝗱𝗶 says that his most important weapon is his heart, because even if he has experienced so many heartaches and pain, he continues his fight. He continues to fight. 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗰𝗱𝗒.
Thank you very much. That was our 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗰𝗱𝗒, our contestant number 2. Up next, we have contestant number 3, Luis Flores.
Maayong gabi sa tanan. Ako si Luis Flores, usa sa mga leader sa Katipunan.
Sige, Luis. Luis Flores was the leader, the president of the revolution in Cebu. We would like to ask you, Luis Flores, why is it that you never stopped and you continued even through many hardships and setbacks? Nganong nagpadayon man ka bisan nga daghang mga kasakit o mga pagkapildihan? You experienced setbacks but you continued. Why? Why did you continue? Dito atubang sa camera, please.
Para nako, ma'am, kay
Adi, sila may ingna para nako.
para nako kay
Nganong nagpadayon ka bisan sa mga kasakit o kapildihan?
nagpadayon ko sa bisag sa kapildihan kay para lang maluwas ang ato ang Pilipinas ug sa Cebu.
Daghang salamat to Presidente Luis Flores, who said he continued to fight for the people, to save the people, to free the people of the Philippines, of the country.
Okay. Thank you very much. That was cosplayer Luis Flores. I hope they apelido. Sunod, we have, to complete our lineup, we have cosplaying as Hermana de la Caridad.
Maayong gabi sa tanan. Ako dayang usa ka miyembro sa Hermana de la Caridad nga usa nagtambal sa mga nasamdan sa mga katipunero.
So, Hermana de la Caridad sa Sisters of Charity na in English. And then so she treated wounded katipuneros. So the question for sister, say katsila sa sister. Hermana. Samana. So we would like to ask you, why were you not afraid we're not afraid to treat the wounded katipuneros? Were you not afraid to die? And why?
I'm not afraid because as a hero, what makes hero a hero is that you are willing to sacrifice things even though it hurts you so much. You're willing to take a risk with somebody even though wala na yung habilin sa imong kagalingon. And if sister ka is committed ka dapat. And mauni ang sige kog da grocery because I'm feeling safe whenever we go. Mas safe pa mo kaysa kuyog sa inyong uyab. Thank you.
Wow! Yay!
Daghang salamat. So, pwede sila mabalik?
Okay, so may we have all our contestants here in front of the camera. Another round of applause! Ay. Okay, sige, move a bit forward. Okay. So they really have an understanding of their respective the mga characters. And of course, if you want to learn more about these historical figures, feel free to drop by downstairs here at Palmgrass. Books about their lives, their stories are all there. Okay, so the announcement of winners will follow later on. Oh wait, the announcement of winners. The prize will be room for heroes. Okay, so Miss A. Okay, so we will proceed with the trivia quiz muna. Okay, so thank you very much to all our cosplayers. From here, actually, nindot ilang mga outfits. Nindot kayo ilang mga outfits, actually. So we'll be announcing the winners in a while. Okay, now, I have here, this time, questions for our on-site and online audiences. Okay, we'll have our on-site questions. So guys, are you ready to win something from Palmgrass? Oy, are you guys ready to win something from Palmgrass? Sige. Sige, ready na mo ha? Okay, now we have here our microphone. If you do have the answer, feel free na mo kuan lang. Ay lagdagan kay basin na yung mga buak. But feel free to approach lang the microphone. Okay? Let's start first with our, of course, first question. Question number 1. Name one woman leader of the 1898 Cebu Revolution. The prize for this one is cake and smoothie of the month. Sige, doon lang. Okay, nalating microphone. Sige. Ay, nagdag yung notes, oh! Nagdag yung notes. Money, sakto. Okay, introduce yourself first and what is your answer?
Hi, good evening. My name is 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗰 from Tarisay City College, taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Social Studies.
Nice.
So, the answer will be Juliana Rebellas, who is a Spanish mestiza and an active planner of Katipunan.
Ma'am A, can you confirm? Okay, congratulations. You can claim your prize later. Again, the prize is cake and smoothie of the month, 𝗘𝗿𝗶𝗰 𝗘𝗿. The second question. And before I mention the question, the prize for this one will be cocktail of the month, tropical fighter ni Leon Kilat. Yay. So the question goes, what is the hometown of Cebu, of the Cebu hero known as General Bonifacio Aranas? Iyang hometown. It was mentioned many times. Oh, this is an online question. Okay, so for the online, sorry, my mistake. Online question. So Miss A is looking at the corner. So to everyone watching online, what is the answer? Again, the question is, what is the hometown of the Cebu hero General Bonifacio Aranas? Go. The prize for this one will be cocktail of the month, tropical fighter ni Leon Kilat. Okay na. Sige lang. Do we have an answer already? Okay. Okay, so we have here the question. Okay. It is 𝗘𝐿 and Ma'am who answered. We have here, his name is, I hope I'm pronouncing it. That's it, 𝗓𝗶𝗰. That's it. Ano yung name? 𝗓𝗶𝗰. Ay, okay. Okay, congratulations. Okay, it is in 𝗘𝐿. Okay, and the third question, this time will this be on-site, ma'am? Online? Online, okay. The next question, and this will be our last question for today. The prize for question number 3 will be, uy, nindot lagi ni. Number 2, cocktail. Yes. Okay. So number 3 question, or rather prize. Kani nindot ni ganan kay kani labi na karon na init kaayo. It's very hot. The prize is soak and chill. So the question goes, which part of Cebu did the Battle of Tres de Abril happen? Again, this is an online question. Answer through our comments section sa atoang FB Live video. The prize for this one, once again, to beat the heat, we have soak and chill.
It's 5 hours stay at our room for Hero with a
Okay, sorry.
access to our
stay good ay, sorry.
saltwater dipping pool.
Wow.
So, of course, it's correct, San Nicolas, without an H.
San Nicolas. And the winner is, let's check the name, Marbs Bascon. Okay. So, sir, dalo ninyo sa tanan inigsok. Talo niyo tanan. Makitubangay lang ta. Okay, congratulations, sir. And to all our winners, congratulations. Amazing. What a nice way to end the event today. Okay, now the winner for our cosplay will be also room for Hero, overnight stay. Okay, so is it okay that I announce the Richard? Okay, the next will be a video from Alert na Katipunan. After, okay, so before I proceed, we have to plug in some future events here at Palmgrass. First off, on April 29, we have Lapu-Lapu Rock, rendering Lapu-Lapu in pop culture. And this one, this is a big event. This will be on May 12. I believe some of you or several of you here are already familiar with this. On May 12, it will be Gabi sa Kabile. Okay. So again, April 29, Lapu-Lapu Rock, rendering Lapu-Lapu in pop culture. And May 12, Gabi sa Kabilin. Are you excited for this one? Okay, so for those who are watching us online, if you happen to be in Cebu by that time, feel free to drop by and join in these festivities. So before we proceed to showing our video, I believe we will be announcing the winners of our cosplay competition. So, guys, before Kumo proceed, kitsaman ang inyong who's your bet? Is your bet? Shout their characters or numbers in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the winner for this one, shout Ganbalik. Congratulations. Hey, Mana, sister. You got an overnight stay here at Palmgrass. Congratulations. Move forward a bit to be recognized. Congratulations. Okay, do you want to say something to everyone?
I would like to thank my co-FOs for dressing me here, helping me get dressed as a sister. And thank you, Sad, sa nangariog gitanaw sa kaning sa kaning event. Thank you.
Very good. Without congratulations, and thank you very much. Congratulations as well to the rest of the contestants. Give them all a round of applause. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, before we end our event today, if you wish to review the video, don't worry. The video will be available at Palmgrass Facebook page. So, guys, For those who are watching us online and for our on-site audiences, thank you very much for being here. Ma'am A, thank you very much as well to the rest of the technical team and of course to the management and staff of Palmgrass, the Heritage Hotel. My name is Josh. My name is Josh. Daghang salamat for joining us and have a blessed Holy Week ahead. Okay, the next presentation will be 𝗘𝗿𝗶 So we'd like to request once again our contestants, our cosplayers here to join us in the performance of 𝗘𝗿𝗶.
Alerta katipunan sa bukid, ang puloy anan. Aman, kakapoy sa kalawasan, walay ulan, walay habon, walay banig. Pagkatulog, giunlan pa ang sundan, abanseng makalilisan. Alerta katipunan, ang tuson, ang kalisanan, dugangan nato ang kaisong, bisag mamatay pa sa panggubatan. Tumong nato, inusong, nasa tupson, kung kupayon, dali na kita magkikisong, abanseng makalilisan. Alerta katipunan sa bukid, ang puloy anan, dito matagang tawag, kakapoy sa kalawasan, walay ulan, walay habon, walay banig. Pagkatulog, giunlan pa ang sulat, abanseng makalilisan. Alerta katipunan, ang tuson, ang kalistanan, dugangan nato ang kaisong, bisag mamatay pa sa panggubatan. Tumong nato, inusong, nasa tupson, kung kupayon, dali na kita magkipisong, abanseng makalilisan. Alerta katipunan, abanseng makalilisan. Alerta katipunan, abanseng makalilisan.
Okay, thank you very much. And once again, good night, everyone. Once again, have a blessed Holy Week. This has been Josh, and feel free to review our video for today's event. Daghang salamat.